It's Alex Cosper from SacTV.com. I'm here with recording artist Carla Fleming.
Hi, Alex.
Great to see you,
Nice
Carla.
to see you too.
I found out about you just online when I just was researching it. And I can't remember which website it was, but I was putting Sacramento R&B artists in YouTube, I think, and you came up. I was really impressed with your music. So how long have you been doing music?
10 plus years professionally here in Sacramento.
Really? How did you start out?
Well, I started out long before I moved to Sacramento. I started out in Chicago, where I'm from originally, and I used to sing at like little talent shows and community events in Chicago. So I kind of got the bug early on.
What brought you to Sacramento?
My mom moved here. Chicago was kind of like, we lived in a really, really rough area, and my mom was seeking change, so she packed up herself and her children and moved to California.
Okay. I used to live in Milwaukee for a while, so I'd drive to Chicago every weekend, only 90 miles away. I always thought it was a fun place, but then again, I didn't go to the rough parts, so my perception is that it's like San Francisco, like a really fun, world-class city.
Yeah.
That's not your perception.
Well, it is now. Like when I go back now to visit, that's exactly what it's like for me.
Oh.
But growing up, in some of the rougher areas, it wasn't like San Francisco.
So do you perform live in Sacramento?
I do. I perform at many of the venues around town. I performed at Harlow's. I performed even at some of the newer venues that are popping up around town.
Do you think Sacramento has a lot of places for R&B artists to play?
Not really. Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's got a big R&B following. Some of the radio stations that play it are pretty popular. So I guess does that limit your schedule on what you can do here in town?
Kind of, sorta. It's like I would have to create my own little, promotional type thing. Like you have to, as an artist, you create your own event, and then you invite people that's aware of your music or familiar with your music to come to a place where you have to rent out or something like that, as opposed to there already being a venue where you just come through as an artist to perform.
What about Harlow's? You don't have to rent that out, do you?
Well, there's I go through promoters that are already promoting those type of events there, but it's not very often that we get to get into Harlow's. So I as an artist, I haven't been able to just go and say, hey, I'm an artist, I'd like to play at this venue. Like I'd have to go to somebody who already has an established relationship with Harlow's.
Okay. One of the radio guys who I know plays your music is Akil on B101. And your name was one of the first names that popped up when we were talking about local artists. So, you know Akil?
I know Akil. He's a really, really good friend of mine.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. He started he and another friend got together to start this thing called the Homegrown Soul Show.
Yeah.
And a lot of the local artists, especially R&B, we would go to this open mic venue once a week, and we get to perform. And it created a really nice buzz. Like people started to come from the Bay Area and other areas in California to see the Homegrown Soul Show.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was starting to create something for us, but unfortunately we don't have that anymore.
What do you mean?
The Homegrown Soul Show, it's gone.
Oh,
we don't
really?
have the live venue anymore.
I didn't realize that.
And I don't think we're on the radio anymore either. I think that the station is, we're not on B101 anymore.
Oh, okay.
So,
because that was on Sunday nights, and I guess I lost track of that.
well, it's only recent. It's very recent. I think it's only a couple weeks now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw Akil a couple months ago, and it seemed like it was still going on. How about your recording? Where do you record?
I record at different studios. My primary place to record is Studio C, which is also formerly known as Crystal Clear Studios here in Sacramento. They've been around for a long time. So I mostly go there for Brian Porter to do my stuff. But my most recent project I did at a new studio studio out in Elk Grove called Milhama Studio, and it's really nice. It's like this huge warehouse. This guy went in and converted it into a studio, and he has like these massive rooms. So he has like several different rooms where he's built for different acoustic effects. Like he has one drum room, and it has a nice set of drums in there. It's a humongous room, and then to one side he has the vocal room. Then he has the great room with the piano, and it's kind of like you could practically live in there. It's so huge. Then he has a room with an organ. Like it's like he has a brass room where people can go and record their horn parts and things like that.
Sounds like a billionaire.
I know. It felt like it. You know, recording there is just like, oh my God, this is like nothing I've seen in this area. So I was really impressed with that particular studio.
Well, I've been very impressed with your recordings, and we'll talk more about that in a few more segments on Sac TV.